Alright. Bin live. Ist jetzt noch niemand da, aber ich fange trotzdem an. In einer Minute. Ah ja, jetzt kommen auch die Leute. Hallo ihr Lieben. In einer Minute fange ich an. Oh ja, das geht ja, ist schon. Einige von euch kommen rein, da freue ich mich. Ich werde auch gleich auf Englisch switchen und ich hoffe, ich kriege es hin. Okay, es ist 16 Uhr. Also erstmal auf Deutsch. Hallo, liebe Nitis. Mein Name ist Anna. Herzlich willkommen zum Fussel Talk. Das ist so Live, Insta-Lives, was ich gelegentlich veranstalte mit spannende, interessante Personen, Marken, Gründer aus dem Strick-Community, aus dem Strickbereich. Und heute werde ich mit Stefanie sprechen von Lanivendole oder Lanivendole. Ich muss jetzt sie fragen, wie ich das richtig ausspreche. Und es geht um die italienische Garne. Und ich werde jetzt auf Englisch switchen. Stefania, I see that you joined, but please leave this live. I will invite you in a second. I only have to accept. Instagram making changes all the time. Okay.
Hi.
Stefania, hi.
Hi.
I make it a bit louder.
Okay.
And I move a little bit out, so always have to adjust. Okay, how are you doing?
Oh, fine. Thank you.
Are you
And you?
excited
Yeah,
to be
of
live?
course.
Me too. I have some calming tea,
Okay.
and I hope I will make it in English, because
Oh, yeah, sure. No
most of
problem.
the time when I need, I speak German or Russian. But,
Yeah, of course. Well, okay, we can make it. I
we'll make it.
unfortunately, I
Okay.
really don't understand a word in German, but we can try it.
So
I'm
it's a
sorry.
good decision. It's a good decision. We speak English, and I was swatching. I started a new swatch. I did
Yeah.
yesterday a swatch with Honolulu,
Honolulu. Yeah.
and I didn't make the swatch. I need to take a smaller needles, and I was
Okay.
just doing it, trying to relax and get a little bit calm down.
Yeah.
How do I pronounce Lanivendole? Is it Lanivendole?
No, actually,
How do I pronounce it
the
correctly?
accent is Lanivendole.
Lanivendole.
Oh, Lanivendole.
What does it mean?
Oh, yeah. It simply means women who sell yarn.
Okay.
And it's not exactly Italian, though, because it's a nickname, actually, that a friend of us gave us, and she's from Florence. So
Okay.
it's a dialectal word from Florence. And because when we had to start this business, we just talked about the project and all the stuff we had in mind. And she said, "Oh, so you're basically going to be women who sell yarn, so you're Lanivendole." But it sounded so I don't know, cool in some ways. So we said, okay, we will keep it.
It's a name which you can internationally,
Yeah, well,
pronounce.
actually, I'm recognizing that it's not so easy to pronounce. We didn't expect it. Of course, we didn't think about that. But
you don't think about all those things at the beginning. It's like with us. We also have a name Wundersee, which actually has nothing to do with knitting. It's like
really?
wonder and fantasy. And now we're thinking, well, we should have thought about it. Maybe it should have something, I don't know, have knitting in it, or I don't know, some wool or whatever. But anyway,
Right.
so
Okay.
it's woman. So it's two of you,
Yeah.
and Giulia.
Yeah.
In a team, do you have like it's just always two of you, or you have somebody else
No,
in your
it's just
team?
basically the two of us, and well, Matteo, that is Giulia's partner, he's doing all the webmastering of the website and the shop
Okay.
and databases and the photography. Most of the photograph you see on a website with the samples, and because he's a professional photographer, and so we had to grab him in some ways, and all the other stuff is made by the two of us.
So it's really
And
two of us managing everything, like from marketing,
yeah,
product development,
yeah,
selling,
yeah,
going on the markets. This is crazy.
yeah, yeah, it's quite
I know
challenging.
it. This is because it's also mostly two of us,
Yeah,
but we have support like with content creation, Kostya, my husband, supporting us,
yeah,
and with design, we have a designer helping us, but it's really crazy still. It's not.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. There's a lot of
okay.
different tasks to follow, and but we started like this, and at the moment I
When did you
think we are
start?
still in a dimension where that we can handle.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it will be like that, because each year we're increasing so many things to do, and projects and production to follow, with the meals and with the fiber gathering, and so it's in some periods especially it's quite challenging. Then there are calmer ones, but
We have a comment from
yeah.
Melan Knit. She said that she loves the name and she's also from Florence. She loves the name. So how did it started? Like how long do you exist? How long is
Okay, so, the business officially started in March in 2020, so just right before the COVID stroke.
Mhm.
Actually, for the previous 2, 3 years, we had started in some other ways, because we had a textile association, a textile art association, that I was leading with another friend, and we were using Italian fibers to teach people how to hand spin, to hand dye, to weave, and so
Mhm.
on. And we made workshops, and that's actually how we came to meet Giulia, because she attended one of our courses, because she was about to start her cashmere goat farm,
Okay.
and so she wanted to learn to spin and to knit better.
Mhm.
So we met them. We met her in one of the courses, and then we just became friends.
Okay.
And then she started her farm. She started to gather the cashmere fiber from her goats, and at some point we recognized that we had a lot of knowledge of the small breeders that were starting to develop in Italy,
Mhm.
that are not so many, especially regarding wool. Um, but we just grew together with them, because by chance our project just were at the same time. So we said, okay, we could start making something nice with all this
Mhm.
valuable fiber, and to make it known abroad too.
Okay.
So we started to make the first productions. Some were hand spun. Most of the production firstly were hand spun, but it was insane. It was time consuming. It was
Okay.
really unsustainable.
Mhm.
And at the same time, we started searching for meals, because
Mhm.
we in Italy, perhaps we have many huge mills that work for the fashion
Mhm. It's
industry,
yes.
and they made very high textured yarn and very precious yarn, and for weaving clothes, and for knitting, of course. Uh, but most of the tiny mills, the artisanal mills, were getting lost because they were all closing. And we were lucky enough to find a person that guided us in this research, and that now still collaborates with us especially when we have to develop a new base, so to see how to make it properly, to search for the different manufacturers that are behind a thread, and there are quite many, we came to know. And we found the main one that is just a couple of hours from where we have our main headquarters, that is in Biella, that is one of the two main districts in Italy of processing wool and fibers. And so that's how we started. We made the very first batches were little as 10 kilos or so, because we really had to learn everything about making yarn. And the fibers as well were quite few, because productions here and breeds here are not so huge like in other countries, and Germany too, I believe. And so we started little by little, and now we're quite a good amount
Generally,
of.
So in Italy, I know the industry is huge. There are, you said there are a lot of mills. There is a huge fashion industry, and they produce very nice wool, but they are not sourcing it. Mostly, they are not sourcing it from Italy, from Italy. Okay.
No. I think we just know, I think 5, 6, really less than 10 realities like ours that wanted to start from the Italian fibers. Just because the fibers the fiber herds are very small, and so most of them are breeders themselves, and they produce their own the yarn with their own fibers, and we buy the fibers from them, from some of them, and but other brands just buy the yarn that is more I think commercial, or easier to buy and to resell.
Okay, and so it's basically started. You were offering the workshops, then you met Giulia, who took part in the workshop, and she was about to make a goat farm. Why? How did she?
I don't know why she wanted
Does she
to.
still have a farm? So you using your own goats fibers for your yarn?
Yeah, well, I don't know why actually she had that idea in mind.
So
They just wanted to move to the countryside. That
okay.
was the main, the basic starting point. But I think by chance they came to know another breeder from Tuscany, and she went there to work to learn, of course, how to breed and how to treat the animals, and then they just found the perfect farm, and they started. But it's really a tough job, because she had a lot of the time of course, to the farm and to the animals, and then all the spare time is for Lanivendole, so it's quite tough.
She's still running a farm. She lives around the countryside.
They have around 50 goats now,
okay.
something more, and we have actually the headquarters at the farm, because it's a very large building. So we have a warehouse and the main lab for dyeing and for preparing the orders and so on. And I have another small one at home, because I too live in the countryside. So I was lucky enough to have a space to use for working, and that I think that this is one of the things that helped us at the start because there was a lockdown, of course, when we
Yeah.
started and jumped online and said, okay, let's go. So being able to split, to do everything all together, and to be able to do it by ourselves as well at home was very important because we had to stay home, so we couldn't work otherwise.
Yeah,
Of
you
course.
have this card, your and on this card you have an illustration with the goat,
Yeah.
right? Which breed is this? Is this Abruzze or
Uh,
no?
I think because we made different cards, we tried to rotate them and the time. I think there's one with just the cashmere goats,
Okay.
and then there are some larger boxes of fibers. We featured the wool, of course. That we use two breeds. One is Abruzzese, and one is Brogna. There are two different breeds native from Italy, and then I think there's one with alpaca and one with mohair as well, because it's the fibers we just started to gather and to use at the beginning, and we still use them because they are very high quality fibers they're very well grown, the animals, and so
So
we won't change it.
and why did you decide to stick with the Italian fibers? What is your core mission or core idea of your company?
Yeah,
Um,
that was the very first important character that we wanted to give to our yarn. We thought, okay, we can use the type of yarn we want. We study the weight and the compositions, but the thing that makes it different is the fiber, of course. And we saw that there was not another product like this in the market that could keep an artisanal character as well as a traceable origin of
yes.
the fiber, and the whole process is a really small chain, and we wanted to keep it like this. So our yarn are very minimally processed
Yes.
because we just wanted to keep them as natural, let's say, as possible, and that's what's all connected, I believe. So we said, okay, we start with as an Italian fiber company. We make yarn and no one else does it, at least when we started. So it has to be with Italian fibers. And that's why we basically we work only with these fibers. I mean, we added linen for Estiva, as you know, and we couldn't find it. We spent years since the beginning, searching for Italian linen fiber, but it's all used for textiles and towels and so on. So we managed to find it in France. And we were very lucky because it's an untreated linen, so it's kept unbleached and it has no treatments, and that's another part that we really wanted to maintain in all our bases, that the fibers just come as they are. They were just washed and with no treatment. No nylon and no additions, and that's why we just added because we really loved the idea to make a summer yarn, and that was the perfect solution, I believe. But this was quite challenging at the beginning because also the cost of the fiber is quite higher. Of course, because of course the breedings are
I mean it's from Italy, of course, and it's from the small breeders. There are different prices than when you buy in bulk somewhere.
And also to follow all the process. I mean, we buy wool at the moment. I think we received just already the wool that is washed and combed, So
Mm-hmm.
it's not the raw fiber. But anyway, all these processes are done in Italy. So
Yes.
that
Yes.
cost also is quite higher than
So how
in the
does it
market.
work? You receive this not raw, already washed and combed
Yeah,
fibers,
yeah.
and then
Well, we
you then what happens?
actually, in some cases, we buy the raw wool and we have it washed along with the fiber that is processed by the breeders, because we're friends now, so we try to work together as much as
Mm-hmm.
possible in order to reduce costs, of course. In other cases, we receive the combed fibers, and we arrange with the mill to have some stocked and kept aside for when we need it.
Mm-hmm.
In some other cases, we just buy it when we have to produce a new batch. And now we have all the recipes, of course, with the composition of each fiber. For example, for Estiva, it's 70% wool and 30% linen.
Mm-hmm.
And they make it arrive directly at the mill.
Mm-hmm.
And they start processing. So all our bases are semi-worsted
Mm-hmm.
yarn. So the fibers are blended together, and then they have a slight combing passage. So that the fibers are aligned, they are softer, and they take more brightness when dyeing. And well, that's one of the feature we wanted to give to our yarn, but that's also
I thought
how the mill works. So
I,
we
I
had to
I
have it
thought
like that.
I thought Estiva was woolen spun, or am I?
No,
No, it's semi-worsted.
a semi
Ah,
worsted as
okay.
well. But the linen, as I told you, is really minimally. I don't know how to say it. Combed, and
Mm-hmm.
so it has a lot of structure in the
Yes.
fibers, in the cellulose
Yeah, that's
fibers.
why
So
maybe it looks as
yeah,
woolen.
it looks a bit different because the
Because
yarn is very fluffy. The
yes,
wool content is very fluffy, and the linen is quite the opposite. So altogether, they just make a peculiar
yes.
yarn.
So, uh, like what? So you have Estiva. What other? Maybe you can show. Maybe you have something next to you. Maybe
Yeah,
you can
yeah, yeah,
show
yeah,
what
sure.
other type of bases
Yeah.
you have.
The very first bases that we produced were the chic blend.
Yeah.
It is this
So
one,
this is
and
chic
it is
blend. Is
composed.
mm-hmm.
It's made of 60% wool, 20% alpaca, and 20% mohair. And it's a light fingering weight
Okay.
yarn. And we made it, with the purpose of being hand dyed. And
Okay.
along with that, we had the Stormy blend that it has the same weight and the same structure. It's a two-ply yarn, and it's made of 70% wool and 30% alpaca.
So
And this was made
the,
to be kept undyed to show
so
the color of the fleece.
okay. So you have
And
this shaky blend. Oh no, how do you call it? Shaky blend.
chic
Sh-
blend,
Chic
chic
blend.
blend,
Exactly. This is wool, alpaca, and mohair.
yeah,
And you source all those fibers in Italy,
yeah.
also mohair.
We just started with this because we had the
So this was
opportunity. Yeah,
your
yeah,
first
yeah.
base.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. We had the opportunity to meet breeders that had alpaca as well as mohair goods.
Okay.
And so we said, okay, it's a treasure. We have to use it all together. And so that's mainly the origin. And the stormy blend is kept undyed because actually we don't have much, well, really a little colored wool in Italy. So the wool is all off-white and cream. And we wanted to have a yarn that could exalt also the natural colors that some fibers have. So we went for the alpaca colors, and we had three shades of stormy blend using black, gray, and fawn alpaca. And these were the very first ones. Then we added
and Stefania, wait, before you continue, like why do you mix? How does it even, like, you mix wool, alpaca, and mohair together? Okay, you wanted to try it, but how? Like how did you come to this idea, and which future, like which qualities then the yarn has, like with such a mix? Why you like?
Well, during the years of workshop teaching, we fell in love with the job of end carding. We had a couple of drum carders, and we just make those fluffy butts, adding all the fibers that we could find, and testing how the color would come out, mixing more or less or differently the fibers and the drum. And that was the the starting idea.
It's like mixing all the best together, you know. I wear all my best stuff today.
We said, okay, we don't have much in Italy, but it's good, so we have to use it all together. So we actually tried to test the blends in the drum carder. We hand spun the yarn, and we saw that the result was awesome, because at that point the wool was not that fine that could be sold as a high quality wool, because I love very sticky and rough wool, but most of the people, of course, don't.
I love
so we said, okay,
well.
let's blend it. Let's blend it with some gorgeous alpaca and mohair, and
to make it more smooth, to make it like more
to make
that
it
rustic,
softer.
Yeah. And which breeds, which sheep breeds, like in the wool, which breed is this?
Oh, okay. The chic blend originally was spun with the Brogna wool. Afterwards, as the Brogna wool has a quite limited stock each year, we decided to keep it only for the stormy blend, and to use the Abruzzese that has larger yields every year. So chic now it's I think a couple of years that we're making it with Abruzzese wool. And
is this because why is this? Is this because you rather have more Abruzzese sheep rather than Brogna?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very fine wool, because in the years the breeders started to recognize that if they manage to source and to score the fiber with more attention, the fiber quality would enhance and would be finer, and for them as well, for their production, would be a better achievement, of course, because most of the breedings were getting lost, because in Italy wool is just it has no market. It's just a waste that the
like
breeder. So they just sheared everything from the sheep and gave everything to the mill. So it was sometimes the quality wasn't high rated. So we decided to work with them and to make them understand altogether that if they try to select better and to score better, the result would be better for them, first of all. And as I was saying, talking about Abruzzese, the third yarn we made was and still is pure and simple wool. That
Can you show like
yeah.
yeah, okay. Pure and simple wool. Okay, this was
Yeah.
your so we talked about chic blend, semi blend,
Yeah.
stormy blend
Stormy
a little bit, and
blend.
this is the
This is the pure and simple, and we
pure and simple.
called
Okay.
it like this because it's not a blend. Actually, it's 100% wool. And this is a project that
Okay.
started together with us when we decided to make the textile association, and it's from Abruzzo, and it's a selection of the finest Abruzzese wool. It's a huge project that it's held just by a woman. I don't know how she can make it, but she can. Anyway,
Well, we are women are strong.
yeah, we are. And she now has a really gorgeous wool. And I mean, it's around 21, 23 microns of fineness. So it's really, really
Really soft. Like
wonderful. Yeah, it's soft. So we decided to keep it like this without blending.
okay.
And
Pure and simple, not a
this is a
blend.
little, it has a little difference in structure from the other ones because it's a single ply. And so the yarn, it's very bouncy and yeah, and very soft, and so well, we love it, and we know that many knitters love it because it's very special, I think. And then we decided to make a thicker yarn because the pure and simple as well is a sport weight, although it can be knitted as a DK because it's very bouncy, but it comes with a yard that is for a sport weight. So we decided to make the Stormy blend double, and we made a DK, a Stormy blend and DK weight. And to dye it, we just kept the two natural shades, the gray, the light gray and the dark gray, and we just over dye them in a palette of shades like all the other bases. And so this is again made with Abruzzese wool and alpaca, like the fingering one. And it's, I think, the squishiest we have, and um, the softest, perhaps because the thicker the thread and the more you see the properties of the fiber, they just come out more easily, I think. I don't know. And the fact that the base is gray yields very special colors when dyeing, like just like Estiva, that is not white and creamy as wool only.
It has this very nice
Yeah.
white.
Well, this is one thing that we really love to have for our yarn because it really helps the fiber content come out again.
Yeah.
So we really love to experiment with dyeing and with to see how the dye behave differently with each fiber. So perhaps sometimes we have the same shade dyed on different bases, and it goes completely different results. It's crazy. Sometimes we don't expect it even, so it can be tricky.
And how, like, you I know you cooperate with one of the mills in Piedmont. That's at least what I read on your website. And then you dye your bases in your studio. And how since you're talking now a little bit about dyeing, how do you use also plants? So how do you dye?
No, we decided not to use natural dyeing because the job is just it seems to us at least quite complex to carry on with the fiber gathering, with the yarn producing, and also because in the years we really have to be very focused, because sometimes the breeders change the gathering of their fibers. So sometimes it happened that we wanted to make a yarn and the fibers wasn't ready, or it wasn't even scored and sourced from the ships. So we have a sort of calendar going on that we have to follow strictly. So we said, okay, let's keep the dyeing as much as we can, as simple as possible, as smooth as possible. So we wanted to have reproducible shades that could be that could stay the same in time with washing, and that's why we decided not to make natural dyeing, because we love.
This I know what you mean, to keep a focus, to try to make the process, still according to your values, but as simple as possible. Yes, you need to, you can't manage it all, and this is one of the challenges. I guess you need to reproduce it again. And whenever I meet somebody who is naturally hand dyeing, it's usually very small one person shops, like one person brands that are that are buying already yarn. They are not dealing with all the production process. They're only buying, and then this whole dyeing process takes all of their time. So I really understand what you're talking about, why you decided not to do
and
that.
Then after the stormy Estiva came, as we talked about a lot. This is the undyed base.
Yes. I have it here.
Yeah.
I can. It's like.
And I think the undyed is very much loved, as well as the dyed shades, because it's so
which is my favorite.
special in its simplicity.
My favorite is
Really?
satin or
Satin?
satin,
Like French.
Bilton. This is my favorite. And I also like, this is, I think, is it Baltico? No, this is Poseidon, but I really like Baltico, maybe because I knitted with it.
Yeah.
And I also like this Sherwood, I think.
Sherwood.
This is such a deep, so, tasty, I don't know, such a deep, tasty shade with those white line and parts. Amazing. Yeah.
We were a bit overwhelmed when we received the first batch of Estiva, because as we were saying before about dyeing, we didn't expect how it would take the colors.
Yes.
Because we know that, of course, linen doesn't take protein based the acid dyes that are produced to dye protein fibers. But we said, okay, there's wool, 70% of wool, so let's start making the palette according to the recipes that we used for the other bases. Oh my gosh, it was totally different. We had to double doses, or even to make them triple, because they just seem so dull. And that's why we have so many very light shades, because they're very easy to make on Estiva. The same shades made on the chic blend would be like neon. For example, Saturnia, that you are handling. We tried once afterwards on the chic blend. It was, oh my God.
It was really bright, like really strong. Oh, wow.
It was much brighter, because even it's only 30% of linen. It really behaves totally in a different way from the other fibers we are used to.
Yes, you have. This is Degas. I don't know. Degas. It's also very,
Yeah, and
I like it.
Honolulu as well.
Honolulu.
It's very light, but it's yeah.
Wow, okay. Okay, so you have Chicky blend, semi blend, stormy blend. Those are all the blends where you mix
Yeah.
all the best breeds
Yeah.
together.
Well,
And then
Steve as well is a
as
blend,
the
and
estiva is a blend, but it's a plant,
yeah, yeah,
30% plant
yeah,
based blend. Pure and simple is 100%
wool,
abruzzes.
yeah. And then this year we launched a new yarn that is totally different from the other ones,
Okay.
and that's why we waited so long to make it, because we had to find another mill, because it's a woolen spun,
Oh,
and yeah, and it's made only of Italian wool, but it's in different breeds.
okay.
So there are 4 breeds
Bottoni.
inside it.
This is Bottoni.
Bottoni, yes, it's
Yes, I
Bottoni.
know. Yes.
And we really wanted to make a 3D yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to find how to make the naps, the colored naps. And we were very lucky to get to know that our mill managed to gather naps that were collected from the leftovers of the combing and the washing of the Abruzzese wool.
Mm-hmm.
So we, okay, they are perfect, let's dye them. And so we make this yarn in 2 weights, a DK weight and a sport weight.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And it's left undyed for this batch, because this is a very
So this is
first test
undyed.
batch.
This
Yeah,
is okay.
we no, because they are very subtle.
Ah, I
Perhaps you
see. I
see
see.
the buttons. We that's why we call it bottoni, because it means buttons. Actually,
Ah, so you call those small
yeah,
parts
yeah,
buttons?
the small
I was
naps.
like, what buttons mean?
Yeah,
Buttons,
that's
like
why.
those buttons?
This spring
Okay.
we were walking just outside the mill after they showed us the first test of the threads, and we said, okay, we have to find a name. How do we call it? How do we, it can't be another blend, because we have too many names with blends inside. And
Yes.
so we said, okay, bottoni, because technically in Italian they call these naps, these wool naps, they call it bottoni,
Mm-hmm.
like the buttons of the shirts. I don't know why, but they call it like that. And so we said, okay, it's bottoni, it's perfect.
Sparkles. I don't know how. Sparkling,
Yeah,
sparkles.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the first batch.
Okay.
And but it came, of course, as we hoped, very beautiful. And so we are making another one in September that we will have a different base blend. It will be slightly darker, but it all still undyed,
Mm-hmm.
because these are something like 60-70 kilos of testing batches. That is a very relatively small amount for the industrial production. We said, okay, let's see how it goes. We are very happy about it, of course. It's quite different from the other ones, because it's not as soft and as fine as the other ones, because we wanted to keep it with a different character. We wanted to let the wool speak, the wool content speak. And in Italy, we have these wools. And so we decided not to use Abruzzese, that is the finest, not to use, of course, Aquilana, that is the even finer part of Abruzzese. So it is made with Brogna. And
Yes.
Sambucana, that is another breed from Piemonte, very small wool breed. And there is Moretta, that is another very tiny, small breed of it produces brown wool, and another mix of naps that are blended all together in the carding process
So
with these 3 main.
three breeds. right?
It's actually four, but the
Okay.
other one is really a mixture of
Mm.
different gatherings. So it's not a specific breed, actually. And so we played again with the carding process to see the base
Yes.
shade. This is the lighter. The next one would be.
I don't hear you. Oh, Stefania?
Aim is for next year to start dyeing the wool content and then sending it to the mill to be carding. So
Okay.
hopefully we will have hand dyed bottoni with the hand dyeing of the fiber made
So
by
now,
ourselves.
so now it's just one shade which is
Yeah,
undyed, right?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we are not offering it at the moment, at least to the shops, because we said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's just one shade. Let's make another one, and
It's
the
still in
the first
development. You're still
color one, yeah,
you're
yeah.
still testing. You're
Uh,
still
and
looking.
once it's a little more settled, we can
Yes.
sell it to the retailers as well, because it's really in development. It's been a few years that we were making all the bases that I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
But our idea, as we are just it's just the two of us, is to keep it quite always experimenting in
Mm-hmm.
development, because the artisanal part has to be fun for us as well, not
Yes.
just to make yarn and sell it, make yarn and sell it, and so on. No,
Yes.
um,
But it should
and so that's why,
be really challenging. Like you have
yeah,
basically to take care of every batch. It's not like you issue your yarn and then you just conveyor, like have a
yeah,
conveyor batch after batch. You really have to. Every batch is basically different, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
yeah. It's
because
it's
the
always the
fiber,
work with the breeders, how which quality you have. You still probably have to work with
yeah,
them, and then every batch requires your attention basically,
exactly.
and it's really, I can imagine, a lot of work,
Yeah, yeah, it is.
but also a lot
And
of fun.
yeah, yeah, of course. That's what we wanted to make. So yeah, we managed to to make it. But that's also why we want to change sometime. Um, so I think the main basis will still be always available. I don't know that now, but we also like the idea to change the basis from time to time, also for ourselves,
So you
just to
probably
keep
like
the job challenging enough also for ourselves, you know.
so like Botoni, do you have any other bases, or this for now you have like with what,
Okay, no, I don't have it
six?
because it's still the production is still a bit behind. It will be launched, I think, at the end of the year. I can't tell you. I'm
That's
sorry, but I can't tell you.
okay. It's a secret. We will be
Giulia would
following
just
you.
kill me if I say something.
We stick.
So I
No,
won't.
no, no. We stick around, and we will be just
Yeah, yeah,
surprised.
yeah.
It's okay. You don't have to
But
tell
there will
everything.
be a very huge new base and will be
Okay. And
awesome.
so, do you like you want to keep all your current bases, or you think you will maybe, well, at least modify your set, or you maybe even this stop
Discontinue some.
discontinue
Uh,
some?
okay, yeah. I think we'll have to make some choices because we
Yeah.
can't produce,
Yeah.
at the moment at least, we can't produce everything
Yeah.
forever altogether. Uh, we're
Yeah.
just, we haven't decided yet because we just love them all. So it's very difficult to
Yes.
make this changing. But I think probably at least for some time, perhaps, and then we will produce.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, there will be some bases, a few bases left behind. But actually, I really can't tell you
Yes.
because I don't know.
But it's like
which
it's you're quite flexible, right?
yeah,
You are,
yeah,
you know, if I think about the big yarn companies, they are not that flexible,
of course.
probably.
Yeah, yeah.
You
It's
can
a
always
lot to have.
take something out and then take it back in, and see uh,
I
when
mean,
you produce
it's
it.
really up to us
Mm.
because I think each year we just come with having to produce a new batch of every base
Mm.
in different time of the year. But I think a year and a year and a half it's the lead time to finish to run out of a year of the base. So I think we will follow this uh, and see what happens. And we know, as you said, and we know that if we want to make it again, it's just say, okay, let's gather the fibers and send
Yeah,
it to the mill. So it's
yeah.
just a matter of time on producing it. So yeah, it's really a luck.
So where do you see your company like development enter? Like what do you see for your company for the future? What do you wish to be?
Okay, we would love to increase a bit more with the staff, as we were saying
Mhm.
before, and with the production in terms of quantity. It's really a big change for us because now we have a sort of balance of online selling and wholesales, and we just control it
Mhm.
because we prefer to sell online and to have a direct relationship with the customer and to go to yarn shows, for instance, and meet people in
Mhm.
person. And so the wholesale has a completely different management,
Mhm.
and we are just keeping it in few shops that are near to us in the vision, in the dimension, and
Mhm.
that's how we want it to be.
Mhm.
So it's really important for us to have all sales, but it has not to overtake the other channels because it
Mhm.
would change completely our way to work and to produce
Mhm.
yarn, as we
Mhm.
were
So,
saying.
so which
Uh,
mhm.
so I think I see we see, of course, we talked a lot about this. We see us in a larger studio with some help for the
Yes.
dyeing, of course, and for the order processing,
Yes.
and to enhance all the channels perhaps altogether. I think we won't change this balance between online and wholesale and
Mhm.
shows. We really like it like this, but perhaps increasing quantities would mean to have some help, of course,
Yes.
needed.
And I see that, well, at least for IST, where I was researching, you cooperate a lot with the knitting
Yeah,
designers.
yeah,
Like I saw you did some, well, quite some designs with Isabel Kremer.
yeah, yeah.
Can we maybe talk a little bit about it? Like which designers you cooperate with? Uh,
Yeah, well, Isabel was,
oh,
I think, one of the first persons we met in our very first show that was
mhm,
in the north of France, in
mhm,
Normandy.
mhm,
And we basically had, I believe, only the chic and the stormy fingering, and all the other bases were handspun at the time.
mhm.
And a friend of us introduced Isabel to us, and of course we were like, "Oh my God, it's Isabel Kremer! I
Yes.
can't believe it!" But she was so nice and so sweet, and we just kept in touch.
Okay.
She grabbed some yarn to make a jumper, Gianluca,
Mhm.
and since then we're just in touch. So it's when we have a new base, we just send it to her
She
to play
really,
with. And
she's, I think, a big fan of you. She really likes you,
yeah,
loves
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Like you did which designs she did for you? Lily Soul,
Yeah,
right? With
yeah.
Estiva. This is what I want to knit for
Ah,
my
yeah.
mother-in-law.
Ah, okay.
That's why I'm swatching. What
Yeah.
else she did for you? Which
Well, actually,
designs?
she's making a cardigan in bottoni
Okay.
that it has to be released. It has to be
I
tested
saw
and
it.
released soon.
It's really beautiful.
And it was funny because she just grabbed the skins in Oporto
Mm-hmm.
last June. Giulia was there attending the show, and she said, "Okay, this is the new base." And she said, "Okay, I take it." And then in the without telling us, so we didn't know she was making something, but she came out with this gorgeous cardigan. So great. And she made an awesome shawl last year. We collaborated with her because each year for Christmas we like to have a special
Mm-hmm.
event, of course, young related. And last year it was a box with this pattern by Isabel and the Stormy Blend Decay in special shades for the occasion. And we for clubs and events like this we love to collaborate also with local artisans from Italy to produce some add-ons like in that case that was a ceramic mug. It was
Mm-hmm.
handmade for us,
Yeah.
and sometimes we have stitch markers or
Mm-hmm.
brooches or I don't know pouches
Mm-hmm.
and so on.
Yeah.
So each year we start in advance around January to work on the Christmas event. And
Yes,
this
I
year
know.
we'll be having an advent calendar
Mm-hmm.
that is going on at the moment here until September.
So is
And
this
it,
like, is this advents calendar where you have for every day something
yeah,
or for, oh wow.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And this year we are collaborating, for example, with Susan Sommers, the Austrian designer. And she's making a shawl. I can say it's a shawl because it's on the listing, so it's public. I can't say more, but we will have chic blend minis hand dyed to make this shawl. We will have Stormy Blend fingering for the main body, and we will have some surprises to open.
Okay.
But I won't say. I can't say more.
Oh wow. So it's really like the whole, like design, like the whole, like big things.
Yeah,
Like really.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, nice.
Well, yeah.
It's a good
Yeah,
idea.
in these days I am dying all the mini chic blends. It's insane, but yeah, yeah. So we have it ready, and because in the next few months we will going around a lot to shows and with the launch of Bottoni and with the launch of the new base, so it will be tough. And so we try to
Yeah.
prepare everything in advance.
Yeah. Well, Christmas makes sense because
Yeah.
for all of us, all
Yeah.
who are pet shop, it's a big event. Yeah, that's not a
Totally.
secret.
Yeah.
And we all, I mean, we also started, well, we started even late because we started in summer. We should,
Okay.
but we are a very young company, so
Okay. Okay.
we are not even 1 year old. So
Oh,
we just,
really?
we are
Okay.
just, yeah, we, last year, October, we
Okay.
officially founded
The
ourselves.
birthday.
The
Okay.
birthday, yeah. So we are very young, and it's of course takes time to have this process,
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
running.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we will also have a very nice big thing surprise for Christmas.
Okay. Good. Good.
And for all the people who are watching us and who will watch us later, we have Ice all the shades
Yeah.
in our shop.
Yeah.
And I already announced that yesterday via our newsletter and on Thursday via YouTube. We already have 2 colors sold out
Oh,
and
really? Good.
some shades sold for the half of the quantity.
Okay. Good.
Um, yeah, tobacco and chai, those are the
Ah,
sold out.
really?
shades. I love them. One of my favorites. I can't show them anymore. I'm sorry, they're all gone. But
Great.
one of my favorite colors. Even though I'm not wearing warm
Hmm.
shades anymore, I'm more like into cold. But I was knitting a lot before with tobacco and chai color
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes. Um, okay, Stefania, this was amazing. I still
Oh,
have a lot of
thank you.
questions, but we are talking
Okay.
for 1 hour
Yeah,
already, and
yeah. I was seeing now in the display. Wow.
time flies as
Time
always.
flies. Yeah,
And
yeah. We
I
can make another one when you
yeah,
want.
I think we need to finish now because
Yeah,
otherwise
sure, sure.
I
Of
notice
course.
you are getting tired as well. You
No, no problem. But
you're mostly talking.
oh, no problem. I'm
um,
here for that. It was funny. So
yes, thank you, Stefania. I
thank
really
you.
enjoyed it. I learned a lot within this 1 hour
Good.
about Italian yarn. Well, a little glimpse of how
Yeah,
it
yeah.
works in Italy.
Our little point of view, but
And
yeah,
then how your company is structured and works and how this whole it's very interesting for me. Thank you for your time.
good. Oh, thank you for inviting me.
And
I'm
um,
sorry, Giulia is in a little vacation. I mean, she's taking just 1 week, and she really couldn't make it. But
so
next
you're
time.
not on vacation, it's
No,
just your
no,
partner.
I already went in June, so now I'm dying, and that's all.
Okay, okay. I thought you do it together the vacation.
No, no, we just stay
Oh.
all year round
So
together. In summer, we just detach.
you need a break, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, well
Okay,
then
thank you so much.
enjoy the last summer
Yeah,
days. Well, in Italy it's
it's
warm anyway, most of the
very
time.
warm. Yeah, here. Yeah, yeah.
And thank you and have a good weekend.
To you too. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao.